Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, state leaders talk about the steps involved with contact tracing as we prepare to reopen. UK cheerleaders defend their fired coaches. And I'll talk with UK wide receiver Josh Ali. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome to Hey, Kentucky with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer. We've got quite a bit of sports to talk about tonight, plus Josh Ali. It's like maybe we're getting back to a little normalcy here.
I mean, we started some sports last weekend. We can see it kind of coming towards us. Let's hope so.
Oh, yes, it feels good. But first, we got to start with this. Governor Beshear has detailed what the state's expanded contact tracing program will look like, saying it's critical to preventing a spike in COVID-19 cases. The plan is to hire about 700 people across Kentucky to call people and inform them if they've been exposed to the coronavirus. Beshear says some people are already being trained and that depending on the type of contact someone has had with a person who's tested positive, they may be told to self-isolate, get tested, or take other measures. He says all information will be confidential. The Public Health Commissioner says it's crucial that people follow the recommendations of contact tracers.
Contact tracing is the way we act very quickly to localize infection, keep it from spreading, and enable us to get back to interacting with each other as much as we can.
If you believe that you've been exposed, you got to be willing to do what it takes to protect other people.
When asked what will happen if people refuse to self-isolate, the governor says counties have taken different approaches, some strict for people who have tested positive, some have been ordered to stay home. The ACLU is urging caution about the process, saying privacy and anonymity must be protected and that criminalization should not be used to fight the pandemic. Keith, those are really good points because it can make you almost feel bad if you're reporting that you had contact with someone and they might not have even known they had the virus.
And now all of a sudden people are calling them and people are calling their friends. And so it does get a little bit dicey. And the other part of it is, for me, the places I've gone are some of those essential stores that have stayed open, and they're some of the bigger stores. So how do you contact trace when I've gone into a Lowe's or a Home Depot and those places are packed? It's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, you absolutely can't. But I get the reasoning behind some of it. Sometimes you just don't know. You just don't know where it comes from. All right, in other news, some unsettling body cam video is at the center of another lawsuit against the Louisville Police Department. An Elizabethtown attorney who's been practicing for nearly 40 years claims he was assaulted and unlawfully arrested after a traffic stop last year. Douglas Miller claims Officer Mark Batson punched and choked him without justification, then threw him to the ground and continued to assault him. The body cam video shows that Batson initially removed Miller from his vehicle and asked him to take a breathalyzer test. Miller agreed before he started asking questions about the test.
What are you going to do if I say no? Are you going to arrest me?
Go ahead and turn around for me. Just put your hands behind.
No, look, I'll do it. I'll do your test. I'll do your test. I'll take your test.
Get on the ground!
Roll over right now.
11:35. Start me a car. One fighting.
Roll over on your stomach now.
Quit moving.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting. You're killing me.
He's already cuffed. He needs to go in a car.
Okay.
19 of his fellow officers eventually responded to the scene after Batson called for assistance. The LMPD would not comment on pending litigation, but a spokesperson says the officer is not currently on leave and wouldn't say whether the case is being investigated. This story comes during a time when the department is under national scrutiny for the Breonna Taylor case. And Keith, there have been a few other cases that LMPD has had to deal with in the last year. Listen, this is 19 officers responding to this. That seems a lot.
I mean, it seemed extreme, and it was kind of wild because I did watch the video, how quickly it turned because he was asking a couple of questions. The guy, then all of a sudden he said, "I'll take your test." And then all of a sudden he's like, "You're getting arrested." And it's like the cop was just tired of him asking so many questions. And that's when it really did get a little rough.
Every time I see these videos, and I'm a huge supporter of the police department, don't get me wrong, but when people say I'm not resisting, they're not resisting. And sometimes, and then I feel like you get charged with resisting arrest. I don't know. It's a tricky situation because they deal with life and death situations too. All right, let's turn to sports now. UK's house cleaning of its cheerleading coaching staff has brought some strong reactions from current and former members of the program. Yesterday, the university announced that it has fired the head coach and 3 assistants after conducting a 3-month investigation into allegations of hazing, drinking, and other inappropriate behavior. Several current and former cheerleaders took to Twitter in defense of the coaching staff, heaping praise on Jomo Thompson and his assistants and criticizing the allegations. Another ex-cheerleader posted this video on Instagram.
When when any of them ever found out that we had alcohol, when I tell you they made you condition, run, talk, like they made you do any type of consequence to make you not ever want to drink again. They sure did. Because the thing is, we were worried about cheerleading, but they also worried about you as a person.
UK is also investigating potential financial conflicts of interest involving 2 coaches, an advisor, and squad members. Keith, I was a little surprised at the unwavering support and almost unanimous support from all current and former cheerleaders.
Yeah, there was quite a few that came out and posted some of the pictures of the basket throws into the lake and everything, and were fully clothed. At the same time, if you read the report, you see everything that was said by cheerleaders, and it kind of corroborates everything that was said. So it's hard to see that it wasn't totally innocent.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the report was, or the investigation was thorough, but it's a tough situation because this is a championship caliber program, and I know that they don't want to lose that either.
True. I mean, they're going to want to keep going as they have. I mean, 24 national championships and counting.
Yep. All right. Staying with basketball now, a former coach and mentor to DeAndre Williams is talking some smack about Kentucky's efforts to recruit the former Evansville transfer. Williams announced his commitment to Memphis last week, choosing the Tigers over UK, Arkansas, and Baylor. The Big Blue Nation says Coach Cal and his staff backed off of recruiting Williams, while Memphis fans argue it was a hard-fought win for Penny Hardaway and his staff. Here's what Williams' mentor told a Memphis radio show.
Once DeAndre hit the portal, he was in there from the very beginning until the end. Kentucky came a week later, and you have to look at it that way. And then they're Kentucky. They think they can just show up to the dance and and steal your girl. But I guess they had another thing coming when it came to Coach Hardaway. Coach Hardaway wasn't nobody stealing his girl.
Kenneth Roy also says he has evidence the UK coaching staff did not back off and was texting the versatile forward, quote, until the very last day. Keith, what do you make of this story? Sour grapes or what?
This may not be very popular, but I agree with Coach. I mean, I don't know exactly if he's right on his timeline, but when he says Kentucky can come in late and pick somebody off, I mean, we see it time and again when Alabama football comes in and swaps a player from another program. And so, yeah, Kentucky does that. I think they do. But they were also trying to figure out a lot of moving parts in this upcoming season with a lot of transfers, something they don't normally do.
Just like Alabama, I think Kentucky's earned that position to come in and swoop and steal your girl sometimes.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you're Kentucky. All right. The coronavirus continues to wreak havoc with the traditional scheduling for horse racing's Triple Crown. Well, today we learned that the Belmont Stakes will be run on June 20th on Long Island in front of no fans, making it the first leg of the Triple Crown for the first time in history. And the Kentucky Derby will follow in September and the Preakness in October. And Keith, it's only going to be 1 1/8 miles. It's not going to be a 2-turn race anymore. This is just crazy.
Blasphemy, I say.
Yes.
Blasphemy. I mean, this is just so strange to see this, but I guess we'll give it to them one time. They can have the first leg of the Triple Crown. It will be second. It's just, I guess this time we have to give up a little bit occasionally, but it is odd to see that this is happening this way.
And that they're not running it at the traditional length, and I get it, but you can see so many different horses that are in the Derby versus the Belmont that it might not even be the same crop at all.
They could have made the Preakness a mile and a half, but I guess they're going to not do that as well.
All right. Well, up next on Hey Kentucky, we're going to get an insider's perspective on what's going on with the UK football program during all this quarantine. Wide receiver Josh Ali talks about what the team has in store for this season and the potential of playing without fans, along with an update on Terry Wilson. Stay with us.